Oh, hey, my name's Jason. I'm an IT professional with absolutely no construction skills, and I bought a house that needs to be completely remodeled. This is going to be painful.
You got that grinding wheel, Jason?
Yeah, right here.
You're not going to drop it, are you?
Where?
You'll probably bend it if it does.
Oh.
It'd probably be good to maybe carry it out through the house, or
Might be able to stand it up down below.
the two of us could carry it through the house, without screwing the house up.
I was thinking I should be able to get this end down and just lean it against the corner right there.
Yeah, you could do that, yeah. Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Once all that stuff is in, you can just throw this plywood on top.
Okay, so it's been a year since I made a video. I acknowledge that. I got lazy, and I didn't feel like we were necessarily doing stuff that warranted a video, I guess, as part of it. We had the gutters replaced, and that looks a lot better. I never would have guessed or thought of black gutters before I lived in a brick house, but I really like the way that ended up looking against the brick. We got a lot of landscaping done on the bank out where we had the retaining wall put in, so that is nice, but as you can see, there's a lot of other landscaping that's going to need to be done in the next coming year here. We have started doing work on replacing the deck, and I think that did warrant a video, and for a couple reasons. Just because it's pretty visual, you can see the change. It's still a work in progress, but also I think what led us to doing the deck this way was worth a story. What initially we had wanted to do was to take advantage of the view. We wanted to bring the existing deck, which originally stopped right about here. We wanted to take the deck and bring it 10 feet out and all the way down the water side of the house to really get the full use of it. And so that, you know, we understood that was going to be a lot of work. It was going to be a lot of money, the cost of materials. And then I began the process of talking to the city about a permit on the deck because, you know, I like to do things by the book, but also some people have told me in the neighborhood that City of Tacoma used to fly overhead and look for changes, and then apparently somebody sued them in court about that. But then what they do, I guess apparently I've been told, is they sit over across the way in an area called Ruston, and they'll look back with high-powered binoculars and see if there's been changes, you know, so they can charge people money. So they got to get their money, I guess. So I submitted my plans. Dave drew up the plans. I can't remember if I saved those, but I'll include them in the video if I did. But Dave drew up some nice plans. I got some topographical maps done online so that we could show everything, because you know, obviously there's quite a slope. So we turned all that in, and then the city said, no, you're gonna need architectural drawings and a geotechnical report because of the slope. So I said, okay, well, I called the local architect. How much is this going to cost me? I've already got everything figured out as far as measurements and whatnot, but how much to do the drawing? He said, $2,500. Okay. Then the geotechnical report. I said, what is a geotechnical report? I have no idea. So I called a buddy of mine, Ross, who does surveying. I figure he would know, and he gave me a number of a guy. So I called this guy about a geotechnical report. And he starts talking to me, and as he's talking to me, he's looking up the house on Google Maps, and he says, don't even do it. Don't build the deck, he says. I'm like, well, why wouldn't I build the deck? He says, well, look, he said, I can tell you by looking at your house on Google Maps, you're going to be fine. He says, the ground is fine, everything will be fine, but Tacoma is really picky about these things. He says, so what I'll do is I'll come out, and I'll do just, you know, my basic look at the ground, write a letter, tell Tacoma everything is fine. That will not be good enough for them. He said they're going to want the full, he says, and that letter is $1,500. He said they're going to want the full report. So now I got to dig and do samples and do all these other things. He said that's going to cost you $6,000. $6,000. And he says, and there's a really good chance that that still won't be enough for Tacoma. They're going to want more done. So I just said, stop talking, not going to do it. You know, because then we're looking at adding $8,000 to $10,000 to a deck that was probably already going to run close to $15,000. And when I started thinking about doing a deck for $25,000, maybe $30,000, it just was not worth it to me. So then what we decided is, well, let's resurface the deck because it was just old and ugly. Bump it out 3 feet. Maybe I'm stupid to make a video like this and put it on YouTube. I just figure coming out 3 feet is not enough for the city to care about. Basically, I just wanted to come out as far as the eaves go and just add a little space, because it was fine for 2 people, but if you got more than 2 people out here, it felt cramped, and we'd like to have a little extra deck furniture out here. So it was somewhat challenging. I fell through the deck one time while working on it. That's maybe a story for another video, or just a good laugh. But basically what we did is we took everything off, and there was quite a bit on there. So there was an indoor-outdoor carpet. Underneath that was plywood. Underneath that was tar paper. Underneath that was the original decking tongue and groove. And underneath that was 20-foot lengths of shiplap. And we were really hoping to save the shiplap to use when we get around to making a garden shed out here next summer, or whenever that may happen. But they were, 70 years old, right? So it was brittle and it was breaking apart. So it ended up being like 700 pounds of material. It'd be kind of hard to explain. We had to change the support structure. Initially, there was 2 2x6s running this way coming from inside the house out, and all the joists coming this way joined into that. And that joist and this joist rested, coming from the house, and rested on the 2 brick columns down below. I'll put in some shots of the posts that we added down there, but obviously we were taking away some of that support because we had to cut out that outside 2x6 to bring the joists out farther. So we we got a bunch of 2x6s and joined them on 8-foot 2x6s and joined them on 5 feet back on each one to add 3 feet. So I'm probably explaining this in a more complicated way than it needs to be, but you know, if you've watched enough of my videos, I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. I just do what Dave tells me. So that's where we're at here. I decided, Tammy and I decided on this wolf decking, and it's similar to Trex. I like it better because it's 1 inch thick. Let me get a piece to show you. I don't know how that'll show up from back here, but you know, Trex a lot of times is thinner and it has those grooves in the side. This doesn't have this. It's basically just 1 inch thick planks, and I use what's called camo deck screws, and you just put a little jig over the top of this, and actually have the jig right here. So you put this jig over the top of it, and then you put a screw in here and a screw in here, and they go in down through the side. So the end result of that is you don't have any screw holes in the top of your boards. The other great thing is this deck is about 19 feet 5 inches long, and they sell these in 20-foot lengths, so I don't have any seams, and I don't know why, but I love that. No seams and no screw holes in the top of the decking. So as you notice, we have a gap here, and that's because my brother-in-law Bob is making a post for us. This is obviously temporary, and we're going to put in a I don't know if there's an actual name for the type, but you know, the railing with just the post and then a stainless steel cable, 3 cables running through it. I want to keep the view as open as possible, and so he's making the post and the cable railing system, and so we had to figure out how much gap we need to leave here so we could put that in, and then we'll put those planks in once that is all installed. And so that's where we're at. So what is going to happen next is we're taking a vacation, and this is going to sit for a little while. Much needed vacation. We're going to head down to Oregon, and I can't wait to get the heck out of Dodge. So thanks for tuning in for another video, and we'll catch you on the next one.